Potential pricing error. So basically, when Amazon thinks a product is priced too high, sometimes even too low, but this is usually happening when it's too high, they will delist your product and tell you that you have to change your price because it's too high. So even max prices, it is important to set them properly instead of just saying, for example, I put $1,000 on everything. That is risky because if the system decides that you can go to your max price, then it's going to use that as your max price. So even the max price, it should be done in a calculation where, of course, you're thinking of the best case scenario, but it still have to be a reasonable best case scenario. This is, let's say, a suggestion because when Amazon is delisting your product, of course, it's a bit annoying. You need to go back to your Seller Central and relist them. We recently introduced something to be, let's say, for managing easier those cases where your product got delisted. In here, we added this delisted filter. The moment you click this right now, probably, okay, actually they're coming out. So basically, these are all listings that are currently delisted in your store. And for example, let's say this one, the first one, has been delisted because Amazon thought your price was too high. So what you can do here is you're gonna see what was your current max price. If it was, let's say, 80, and Amazon consider 80 too high, what you can do here is you can come here, change your max price, even when the listing is still delisted. Because when listings are delisted, our Repricer or any other software cannot detect them anymore. But they are here, so you can come here and change it to, let's say, maybe 60, I don't know, and save. You can even decide to change the rule that is assigned and then save. This means that the moment you're gonna relist and reactivate the listing, then the system is going to use these new values for your repricing instead of the old one. So the system will not put you back to 80 again because you have changed them in here. In the end, it's always up to Amazon algorithm to decide if the price is too high or too low. We found out that using this method at least will help you prevent for this to happen again. To conclude, the other menu that you can use in the price history now is going to be empty because this is a test account, but in here, you will be able to check all the repricing activity that the Repricer is doing on your listing. So you can check it in general if you just want to have an overview, or you can put here an ASIN or SKU and check what was the last operation done, for example, in the last 24 hours. So for example, if you're checking one of your product and you don't really understand why it was sold at a price, or you just want to see how the price has changed, you can just come here, check that, and you will see a comprehensive list of all the operations this software have done. This can also be done in Managed Listing directly by going to the actions and price history. It will open basically the same page. Another important action that you can do is to check your current competition. So you don't need to do that on Amazon. You can click here. Again, this is a test account, so it's going to be only one seller and it's us. But in here, you will be able to see all the sellers in here and how they fare compared to your min price, max price, and your current price. So for example, if the buy box winner in this scenario, if the buy box winner is at $90, you're going to see it below this line, and you're going to immediately see that the problem for this listing is that your min price is probably too high, or at least the buy box winner is using a price that right now is too low for you. You can see what type of seller they are, their condition, if they're back order, and all of this. So this can really quickly give you a glance of what's happening on that listing, what's your price compared to the others, and eventually can show you what you can do. For example, if you need to lower your min price and so on. You can also check that by using the filter. For example, you have listings that are not matching the buy box price now, or listings that have competition below your min price. So the managed listing really offer a very comprehensive list of filters and actions that can help you check your listing and see what you should do. Lastly, we have this section called upload file. If you do have an Excel spreadsheet, you already have them because the way you manage your business, or if you want to start using them, then there's always the option of downloading and uploading Excel files and spreadsheets to quickly set your listings and your minimax prices and your costs. So for example, in here, you can decide to download a full template of all of your listing and their current settings. You can edit that file and then re-upload it with new values, and the system will automatically change. So let's say you want to lower your min prices on multiple listings, all of them by 10%, because maybe they are low selling and you slow seller and you want to just lower your min price. You can just do that in the Excel, make a small formula to just lower everything by 10%, and then you re-upload the file and the system will just change all of it. So this method is obviously more for people that like to use Excel and like to use a spreadsheet, but at the same time, if you do that, then it's definitely also going to be a quick way to set up your listings and your rules and your minimax price. This can also give you some kind of idea of how your listings are doing and so on. Let's say it's a comprehensive list of your listing. You can also do that only for active listings instead of all of them, if that's easier. Also here, I want to show this general setting where there's two important things I want to show. The last two. One is the InventroyLab integration. InventroyLab integration is what we saw before. In here, you can turn it on. You need to also turn it on InventroyLab side. And this is where basically you can decide to start importing the cost of your product, like the purchasing cost automatically. And since you might have purchased from different sources with different costs, you can decide to use the highest that you paid, the average of all the costs you paid, or the current one that basically is like the latest. The other thing I want to show here briefly is that you can also decide to assign some default values to new listings. So instead of having to set everything by yourself, you can decide to have, for example, every new listing that you create is going to come in and already have this rule. You don't need to set the rule later. It's going to happen automatically. You can also set minimax prices for this method, but at the same time, the system will still not have all the data for the calculation. For example, the fees are still not unloaded because we are taking the listing at that moment. So I noticed some of our users use this mostly to just have a first minimax price, just to start repricing first, and then they will take their time to come to the software, change the min price, and kind of like optimize them by using the profit calculator and the thing we saw before. This is just to say that there is a way to set it automatically, especially if at the beginning you want to start repricing quick without having to make some calculation. I think, this is a main explanation of how the software works. If Sang, you have a question, or if anyone else has a question, just let me know.
Sure. Thanks, Marco. I have a couple of questions.